All right, let's talk some more about Venus and this new Venus cycle that just started. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So you can go out in the morning and see Venus in the morning sky, the morning star phase, the beginning of the Venus cycle for yourself. So first I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to just show a picture I took yesterday morning. So we can see this is what Venus looks like in the morning sky right now, right? So the sun is coming, this is facing east. There she is. This is taken at about 6 in the morning, just a few minutes after where I am in Colorado. So the time could be slightly different, but see, the sky is really light. Like the sun is rising very soon. So you have to wait to spot her in that morning light where you may think like, oh, you can't see her, you've missed it. But just wait, she's there. Okay, so then let's go into Stellarium, the astronomy software that's free. I always say this, stellarium.org, free software for your on your desktop or a laptop, right? Okay, so here we are, August 19th, 5:38 a.m. where I am in Aspen, Colorado. And so this was the day that Venus became 10 degrees away from the sun, which is kind of this average that we use at Venus Alchemy of when you ought to be able to see Venus. But depending upon where you are in the world and your horizon line, that will vary by days, right? So this horizon line is flat. Like if I was in the plains or at the ocean in the east, right? Flat. I have mountains, so my horizon line doesn't look like this. So let's just start moving forward in time, right? So here we are, it's 5:30 in the morning. You can see Jupiter's up on high, and this is still the case. So when you are going out in the early morning, you'll still see Jupiter for a long time. If you go out really early, you'll see Orion, you'll see Sirius, you'll see Castor and Pollux, you'll see different constellations in the sky, but as it gets lighter and lighter, they'll disappear, but Jupiter will still stay up because Jupiter is bright. So just to help orient you. Okay, so we're just going to move forward a minute at a time on August 19th. And there you can see just barely Venus coming over the horizon. So it's very bright. Probably us in the Northern Hemisphere wouldn't have seen her without some sort of like aid to help. But then let's start moving forward a day at a time. So here's the 20th. See, it's a little bit darker. Venus is up there. Let's go to the 21st, right? This is when I first saw Venus. No, when did I see her? I can't remember now. Oh my gosh. Anyways, it's within the last few days that I first saw her. Okay, so I'm going to progress this a little bit more. And we can start to see here the sun is getting close, but you could still see Venus. And then she'll start to disappear. But let's advance a day at a time again. So here's the 22nd. See, she's a little bit further away from the sun. It's a little darker, right? So here was the day before. Look how bright. Here is the 22nd, right? Then let's go to today, the 23rd, right? She's a little bit higher. So now I'm going to advance more quickly so you can just see. And again, notice Jupiter's still up on high. So that's the bright, star planet that you see up on high. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep going more quickly. So see how fast she's moving away from the sun. Really, she's retrograde and the sun is moving. So they're kind of moving away from each other. And then it's going to change as we keep moving forward. She's moving up, but then notice that she's starting to slow down. And this is where she starts to station direct, right? So I'm just going to back up so we can kind of see this again. Here we are, 23rd today, right? She was up, you can see her, but the bright sun is coming quickly, right? And we'll advance. Here she is, she's moving away from the sun really quickly. And then here we go, all of a sudden she starts to slow down. She stations direct right here on the 3rd. And then we'll just kind of advance it because here comes the moon coming around until we have the first moon-Venus conjunction after Venus is stationed direct, signifying that we are moving into our first chakra gate, the crown chakra, right? So us at Venus Alchemy, the way we track and connect into the Venus cycle is following the oldest story, the oldest myth that we have written on those clay cuneiform tablets from ancient Sumer, which is modern day Iraq. And so in that story, it's about Inanna, the queen of heaven, and she's descending to the underworld. And archaeoastronomers have figured out that the story of Inanna, the descent of Inanna, is actually a mythological telling of the entire Venus cycle. So we're in the morning star phase. It's the beginning of the cycle, and Inanna, aka Venus, or vice versa, is on her descent to the underworld. And each moon Venus conjunction, we move through a different gate, which we associate with the chakras, because there's 7 gates that Inanna has to pass through to go into the underworld, which is when Venus meets with the sun again on the opposite side of the sun from us, and we can't see her again. So we have 7 to 8 gates. We have 8 gates this time. So we're basically, what I'm saying is, when we get to this September 11th, this moon Venus conjunction, that's when we move into the crown chakra and we focus on releasing anything that blocks our crown chakra, right? Our divine connection, the place that we start to move out and tune into soul and spirit and the universe, right? What kinds of things are blocking the fullest expression of that for us, right? And I like to say, like, let's focus on one thing, right? Like, this is a lifetime process, like clearing our chakras through the morning sky, empowering our chakras through the evening sky. We do this over and over again with the intention of getting closer and clearer and more empowered each time. So the morning of September 11th, this would be a great time to go out and see Venus. And I also just want to point out here, look, we've really moved back in time during the day. It's 4:48 in the morning. See Venus, she's so high. So if we move forward an hour, see how high she is in the sky, and the sun is just barely starting to get bright. So just noticing that every morning you'll see Venus a little earlier, and she'll be a little further away from the sun for a while. So just showing, moving it through. And it's a pretty spectacular sight to see that crescent moon with Venus in the morning sky. So I hope that all makes sense. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer. So thanks for watching, and blessings for you on this new Venus cycle in Leo of like self-love and creativity and stepping into our power and courage and all those beautiful things that Leo offers to us and brings to us in our world.